Hello, my name is Dr. Justin Croushore. I am the Assistant Professor of Trombone at Morehead State University and Principal Trombone with the Asheville Symphony Orchestra. This video is designed to help you prepare for your upcoming all-state audition. In this video, I'll play some examples from your repertoire and give you some specific advice to help you in your preparation. Before we begin, let's start with 2 points that we can always keep in mind. Number one, start with a great breath. Get used to that feeling of taking a full, complete, replenishing breath before you begin to play. When you get closer to the audition and the pressure's on, it's really going to help you out. And then second, do not forget, slow practice is better practice. If you're just getting started on these etudes, if you have a little bit of time, go ahead and plan on playing all of your material a little slower to make sure you do it right. It's not worth starting at the full tempo and giving yourself bad information and bad training. Start a little slower. I recommend about 80% of the full tempo. Spend a lot of time there, and you'll be amazed at how easy it is to make that jump to the full tempo. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at these etudes. Okay, the first excerpt on the list is from Gustav Holst's Hammersmith. This is a very interesting etude to show off a couple great things about your playing. One, a nice steady pulse. Two, great control of dynamics, as well as evenness and consistency of sound. 3, clean slide technique. 4, general tuning details. There's a lot you can show in this one. This is a mysterious setting. Don't be too expressive. Keep everything in this kind of fog throughout the entire etude. You need to be subdividing, thinking at least quarter notes the whole time. Da, dee, da. Keeping that subdivision moving the whole time is going to make it easy for you to breathe, move the slide accurately, and make it sound like an actual musical statement. A couple other things to be careful about. Make sure those half steps are really close together. We tend to, when we're just moving the distance of one slide position, overdo it. So make sure those are accurate. And when you need to breathe, you're going to need to breathe. Make it count. I would prefer one solid, full replenishing breath rather than several, halfway attempts that neither fill you up nor do anything to keep the music moving forward. Let's give this one a shot. Now we have the Persichetti Burlesque excerpt on your all-state list. This is a great piece to show your judges that you can play with a great full sound that can support a band or an orchestra, while also being a little mobile with it. You can move around. I see heavily, I see forte, I see fortissimo. Many things to consider here, but let's make sure that the details are in place too. The slide needs to be accurate. Make sure it moves in time with the rhythm and it keeps moving forward. That's really going to do a lot to set the style of this. Make sure your whole steps, notes that are 2 slide positions away, and your half steps, notes that are only 1 slide position away, are distinct from each other. And then finally, if I were preparing this one, I would spend a lot of time just making sure that slide, air, and tongue are connected before I add the notes. That would sound like this. So on and so forth. If you can hear the music in your air, slide, and tongue, it's a really good sign that you're going to have a successful performance here in just a moment. Let's give it a try. Okay, about this Fillmore March. Rolling Thunder is one of the composer's most famous popular works, and perhaps one of the most infamous for trombones. Yes, to get the full speed and the full motion of this thing, you will be double tonguing. And honestly, in execution, this is designed to be played by a trombone section. And that's really where you'll get that sound that you listen to in the recordings. However, we can get pretty close just by ourselves. I recorded this 2 times, as you'll hear in a moment. First, slowly. Slowly, where I'm focusing on just blowing through the phrase. I very often in the practice room find myself doing exactly that, breathing in and blowing out and trying to make it feel as close to that as possible when I'm playing on the instrument as well. When I play slowly, I am still double tonguing, da ga da ga da ga da. And yes, I'm saying da ga instead of ta ka. I'd recommend giving that a try. And then when you go for the fast tempo, you basically take that work you've done at the slow tempo, make sure you spend some time there, and then you just hear the click in your head, take a breath, and go for it. On the 8th notes, aim for the long note after them. It's not da 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 or da ga da ga da ga. It's da ga da ga da ga da, da ga da ga da ga da, da ga da ga da ga da. As long as the long note after the 8th note runs has a nice solid foundation to it, even if something gets a little bit funny in those fast licks, it's still going to have the shape and direction and would work well in the band section. I talk a lot about making sure your slide is actually rhythmical when you move and when you play. And when we get to these later examples, that's going to be important again. But when you get into the really fast licks, da-ga, da-ga, da-ga-dee, it might feel more like you're throwing your slide. Keep the grip constant, but you might want to relax your wrist just a little bit and just... This is a great one to practice with air and slide. Something like that. And we're letting it be a little bit looser, so we're going through the notes, past the notes, with ease, aiming for the long note that follows. Let's give it a listen. The last 2 etudes on your list are from different materials. One comes from the Tyrrell Progressive Studies book, and the other one comes from the Rochoux and Bordoni Melodious Etudes. But they're both trying to show off the same thing, and that's beautiful, musical, legato style playing, and, well, being able to carry a tune. Both of these are simple little tunes to test. Can you play the instrument in a musical way? So a couple quick comments before I perform these for you. Do remember that the Tyrell example, it does have that marking of legato at the very beginning. We don't see the kind of phrase marking that we do have in the last example, but it should be legato. Don't make everything as clearly tongued as, say, the Fillmore example or the Persichetti example. This whole thing should be within that slur, singing, legato, smooth, connected territory. And then finally, also a legato example, the Rochu number 10 that you have at the end. Just a quick comment about the grace notes. We see different grace notes throughout this, and you'll hear me demonstrate them in my recording. The main thing is the grace note is just a little embellishment, a small little ornamentation for the thing that comes after. So the note after the grace note is more important than the grace note itself. It's not da dee da dee ah. Da dee da dee ah dee da da. They're an embellishment for the note that comes afterwards. So if you listen back to a recording of yourself and you hear that the grace note is consistently the loudest part of the phrase, reconsider it. Make them go to the note afterwards. Okay, let's play these and give them a try. I hope this video has been useful for you. Before we conclude, I'm going to give you those same 2 reminders one more time. Always start with a great breath. Slow practice is better practice. Make sure you learn it the right way, and then add the speed. I wish you good luck in your audition. Happy practicing. Bye-bye.